The only thing I get more excited about than already affordable quality perfumes is when that affordable quality perfume site is having a sale. Julianna'S Perfumes is having a 15% off sale right now. I love Julianna'S perfumes. I already have a collection of them. 14 new ones were sent to me, new to me, and I'm gonna review them for you guys. I'm also gonna rank them. Some of these are inspired by fragrances. Some of these are original blends, and some of them I absolutely love. So if you want to hear about some Julianna'S perfumes, really affordable quality, and hear my ranking, keep on watching. Hello, my gorgeous ones. Welcome to Aleisha Budget Beauty. My name is Aleisha. Here on my channel, I love all things affordable fashion, beauty, and fragrance. I do hauls, tutorials, reviews, fragrance ranking videos, all sorts of fun stuff. So if that sounds good to you, please subscribe, stick around, be a friend. Yes, very excited to share this with you guys today. Julianna'S Perfumes was so kind as to send me over a bunch of new fragrances. Like I said, new to me. Some of these have been, I think, on the site for a while, and then I think some of these are pretty new as well. And I decided to give myself the very difficult task in ranking these. Rankings are very, very hard. They can be very subjective, a lot of times even subjective for myself, day to day, mood, weather, things like that. But just for fun, I thought I would go ahead and rank these for you guys. So the sale, I believe, is over. I think this is going up Saturday. I think it's over sometime tomorrow on Sunday. So I would hop on it if you are interested. 15% off. They are already very affordable. I did a video a while back for Black Friday. So if you're interested in seeing some other reviews of different fragrances from Julianna'S Perfumes, go visit that video. But as far as these are concerned, I just really wanted to get my nose on some of the inspired buys that I never smelled before. Then there are a few inspired buys in here that I have samples of, and I wanted to see how close they are, and maybe it would save me money from getting the originals. And then I also really wanted to smell some of Alex, that is the owner of Julianna'S Perfumes, some of his own blends, because honestly, after sampling the last batch that I received, I realized I think the original blends are even better than the inspired buys, truly. So let's go ahead and get into this ranking, you guys. We're gonna see which was my last. I don't hate it, but which is my last and which is my very top. Okay. So I'm actually going to start with the 2 samples that were sent. So these are not included in the 14 bottle ranking. These are separate samples that I'm assuming are new, possibly going to be released with this sale. At this time, I believe the sale started last night. So hopefully not too much is sold out. I know that that does happen with Julianna'S Perfumes. There is a cult following of this fragrance house. I know there is a Facebook or 2 groups that really watch it. They watch when things are released, restocked, sales, things like that. They alert each other. It's kind of, in a way, a little bit like a smaller scaled Dua fragrances. I think it's similar. Extracts like Dua, around the same price. Some are inspired by, some original blends, just like Dua. So if you're familiar with Dua, it's similar to that. I don't want to say it's the exact same, but very similar in kind of concept, execution, and sort of like a cult following of it as well. But these 2 samples, to be honest, if these were bottles, I think these would be my top. These are excellent, and I myself am hoping to get my hands on the bottles of these. So this first one is Candied Sunset, and he did include notes on here for me. So this is raspberry, strawberry, orange essence, caramel, and plum. You guys, this is a stunningly gorgeous strawberry scent. I would say strawberry does stick out the most in this out of all those fruit notes. Raspberry, I think the raspberry and strawberry together, you can really get a sense of that. The orange and the plum are definitely more subtle. They don't stand out as much, but that, just imagine a really juicy, ripe, like a dripping juicy raspberry and strawberry together is what I get from this. And it doesn't smell very synthetic to me. Actually, I get a subscription box from Olfactive. It's a great subscription, monthly subscription that I get. There is a strawberry fragrance in there for this month that I got before I got this, and it was a sample, and I thought I really, really want a full size of this. These are kind of similar in a way, and I feel like I might want this over that other one, and that other one's like twice the price of this one. So this really may satisfy my tangy, bright, juicy, like bursting strawberry raspberry thing. It is lovely. Now this other one, and this one honestly may be my favorite of the two. This is Crimson Teas. It is peach, strawberry, black currant, raspberry, jasmine, absolute, rose essence, white wood, and leather. Okay, this one is similar to this one over here, except more elegant, sophisticated, a little bit more complex. You do have the leather in here that is very smooth and soft. It's not an animalic leather. It's not a like you just got in a brand new car, like in your face sort of leather. It's very smooth, very, very subtle. And with that addition of some rose in here and some jasmine, it is very feminine and just classy. And after I spray this, and about 30 minutes later, I just cannot stop spraying my arm. I think it's excellent. This doesn't have the same punch of strawberry raspberry as this one does. I think this one, that peach cuts in a little bit. It's more of like a happy melding of the fruits in this one kind of all together, whereas this one over here is much more raspberry, strawberry forward. So if these are still available in the bottle, I plan on picking them up. And again, we have Candied Sunset, the really bright raspberry strawberry, and then we have Crimson Teas, which is a more elevated, sophisticated, fruity floral with the leather. All right, you guys, we're gonna start with number 14. I do have a notebook here with the notes written, notes written and fragrance notes written. I know it's old school to have this instead of reading off of my phone, but I wanna do it this way. If you see me looking down, just chill, it's cool. It's all good. I'm just reading the notes off of here. But this is Soulful Dawn. Now, this is not a bad fragrance. I really don't think any of these bottom ones are terrible, just for my preference, and I'll give you my reasons why they're at the bottom. But I wouldn't doubt it if someone really likes this. The reason why this is my very bottom, when I opened this and smelled it, I thought, I did not pick out a Delina, a Perfumes de Marly Delina. I was like, I know I didn't. I avoid any type of Delina fragrances now because Delina is not my favorite. I know so many people love Delina. There are different flankers of Delina. I like some of the flankers better than the original, like the Elusif or the Rosé. But this one I smelled and I was like, okay, this is a Delina flanker, but I didn't pick one out. So I go to look it up, and it does say it's an original blend, but this could be a Delina flanker. If I didn't know better, I would swear that it was. However, I do actually like this better than Delina, very much so, especially after this kind of like wears down some. It starts out very kind of just sharp and scratchy for me, but so does Delina. And after this one tapers off a little bit, I'm like, oh, this becomes softer. I like this better. Let me read the notes. It's pear, lychee, bergamot, nutmeg, magnolia, passion fruit, vetiver, amber, tonka bean. Reading those notes, I would think I would really, really like this, but I honestly can't really pick out all of the notes in here. Like, I don't smell this and smell pear and lychee necessarily. I do get the nutmeg. The nutmeg's kind of strong, and maybe with the bergamot, but I feel like they clash just a little bit, at least in the opening. Like I said, once this dries down, I do enjoy it more. And I do like this one better wearing than actually the next two. I think I'm gonna say that I ranked higher. The only reason why I ranked this last instead of those is because it smells so familiar to me. It being an original blend, I'm like, it just smells like I don't know, like a Delina flanker to me. So some people probably will love this. If you love Delina and all the flankers, this is going to be an original blend absolutely for you. It'll be like you have another flanker of them. So not a bad fragrance. I actually will wear this. I just enjoy it more in the like 30-minute on dry down. Okay, next up we have Red Stilettos. I'm going to go ahead and just spray, but try not to spray on myself. Okay, yeah. Okay, I really do not like the opening of this one. I probably should have put this one last, to be honest, but because it's not so repetitive for me, like I really don't have anything that smells like this, I went ahead and ranked it one higher. Now this one is an inspired by fragrance. It's inspired by Armani's Rouge Malachite. It's tuberose, vetiver, pink pepper, fresh notes, benzoin, jasmine sandbach, orange blossom, coumarin, tuberose, amber, ylang ylang. I do like this, even kind of right now hanging in the air, much better than when it first opens. When it first opens, it is way, way, way too sharp for me. There's something almost like air freshener about it too, in my opinion. And kind of like if you're trying to cover like a faint like diaper smell in the background, not a dirty diaper, just kind of how, if you've had kids, like fresh diapers that aren't dirty, like just sort of that smell in the background. It's almost like this little bit of powderiness and then like this sharp pepper in the opening. And I actually really like pepper in fragrances. Maybe it's the vetiver too being in the opening, and then the tuberose kind of gets overpowered by that pepperiness. Right now, as it's lingering in the air, I don't mind it. The vetiver I can really smell right now. I still smell that pepper. I think this one would actually be a little bit better on a man. I don't think it's crazy manly. I just don't really see myself wearing it, but I think if like a man were to walk by smelling like this, I would be like, oh, like he smells lovely. So it's just not for me. Again, I don't think it's bad. I don't enjoy that opening. But you guys saw how quickly I kind of changed. I was like, okay, now I like it. So not bad, just not for me. And this is Red Stilettos. Okay, next at number 12, we have All That Glitters. And I really do not like this opening either. I'm gonna tell y'all that. I really, okay. Something is happening in real time. I like this so much better sprayed in the air in the opening than I do on my skin. That is very interesting. You guys are seeing a real time like like when a dog's like okay, that's so much better in the air. I do actually like when this dries down a lot. Funny enough, I had the exact same experience with the one this is inspired by. This is inspired by M. Mikolav's Ylang in Gold, and I do have a sample of that. This one is fruity notes, peach, lychee, sage, tangerine, rosemary, artemisia geranium, bitter orange, ylang ylang, sandalwood, mint, magnolia, rose, lily of the valley, lots going on here, vanilla, coconut, musk, and oak moss. Now, I'm pretty sure this is the one that there's a ton of notes going on here, but if you look at the notes of Ylang in Gold, the OG, there's like 5 or 6 notes. So there's a lot more added to this. Man, this is so much better in the air, you guys. It's crazy. On me, my skin does not like this in the opening. It's one of those, like, I even kind of like, ooh, like it just kind of almost turns like a little bit rancid, but same exact thing happened with the OG and Ylang in Gold. So much so that I was like, why do people love this so much? I don't like this. But then as I went about my business, about 30 minutes later, I was smelling it on my arm and I thought, oh, I actually do kind of like this. There is this really subtle tropical floral sort of thing going on with this. I know some people really smell banana in the OG. I have to really think to smell banana. There's not a banana note in it, but just some people think it smells sort of like this upscale, beachy banana, like almost sunscreeny vibe, but not totally, but you would think it would start to go that direction. That's how people describe the original. But I can smell banana kind of straight out of the atomizer on this one. I was smelling it last night. I was like, oh, I do smell banana here. And on my skin, after a while, this does turn really pretty. I just, for some reason, the opening of this one and me don't mix well. But if it opened on me the way that it dries down, I think this would rank kind of more in the middle of the pack. And again, I will wear it. I just have to get over that first couple of minutes here. I think this is a me skin chemistry thing. I really, really do. But I think it's a pretty fragrance. I don't know how he got it to smell so similar, adding so many notes to this, because some of his other inspired buys are pretty on the nose, same notes. This one has so many additions, but it really is similar. I had the exact same experience with the OG, so I think it's a pretty accurate inspired by fragrance. So that is All That Glitters. Okay, next up, we have another inspired by fragrance. This is Annie, Are You Okay? Like, Annie, are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay, Annie? Okay, you guys do not want to hear me sing. All right, this is inspired by Annie by Nishane. And Nishane is a Turkish fragrance house. A lot of people pronounce it Nishane. I asked Turkish doctor how you pronounce it correctly, and he says Nishane. He's like you have to do the so Nishane is apparently how you really pronounce it, but I won't try to do it that hard. I have the sample of Ani, and that is one that I've kind of wondered what's wrong with me, because that is a beloved fragrance. It is a lot of people's top sort of like woody fragrance. Men and women really love it. I like it. I do like it, the OG, but I've been trying to force myself to love it, and I've never really gotten there with it. I actually like this, I think, a little bit better. I think it's just a tad sweeter. It's still not a super sweet fragrance, but I think it's a tad sweeter. The notes in here are ginger, bergamot, pink pepper, green notes, cardamom, blackcurrant, Turkish rose, vanilla, benzoin, sandalwood, cedar, patchouli, musk, and ambergris. So this is this sort of vanillic, woody, warm, cozy, kind of earthy, tiny bit peppery sort of fragrance. And again, there's a lot of notes in here that I really love. Like, I love some benzoin, some peppery notes. I love some woodiness and some vanilla, but it may be the Turkish rose. Sometimes I struggle with Turkish rose. It all kind of just depends on how it's blended. And I think it prevents me from absolutely loving this, but I do really like it. I do like this one. It's just not a love for me. And I don't think it's a spot on the nose dupe of Ani, but it's close enough. And I think if you like Ani, you'll probably like this as well. Or if you're looking for that sort of peppery, earthy, woody vanilla, you might really like Annie, Are You Okay? Okay, coming in at number 10 is Head Over Heels. And this one is inspired by Kilian's Rolling Love. And this one, I kind of go back and forth between if I just like it or I love it. It's kind of an odd fragrance, to be honest. And I think this one is probably the most unisex or like almost masculine leading out of everything here, I think. I'd say that it is. So this one is tuberose, almond, caramel, orris, jasmine, vanilla, musk, amber, sweet notes. It's crazy because listing those notes off and hearing them, I would think this would be a little bit more almost like gourmand smelling with, you know, caramel, almond, vanilla. But there's something more, it's crazy because I smell something leathery or peppery almost in here, but it's not listed. And I'm not sure what that's about. It could be the orris, because orris can have this sort of like suede, kind of smooth silkiness, but it is kind of smooth, suedey like, but like I also am like, is it leathery at the same time? So I think it might be the orris in here, but it does make it very smooth. It's not a scratchy scent. It's very, very unique. It's kind of hard to put my finger on this one. The almond is not a like sweetened almond. Don't think like, it's also not super nutty. It's almost just like the dry almond skin. It's not even powdery. It's like the sliver of skin that comes off an almond is the almond that I pick up in this. Not a very powdery scent. The tuberose, this is another one where I feel like it's almost disguised and kind of like pushed to the side by the other notes in here. This one is so unique, you guys. Like that's why I kind of put it not at the very bottom, but I could move it up further because it's one that really intrigues me. One that I would actually like to smell on a man as well, because I do like it on myself, but I think it would kind of thrive on a man. So if you're a guy watching or if you've smelled Rolling Love by Kilian and you really like it, I would recommend this. Or if you like more of a kind of right on the line, unisex, maybe ever so slightly masculine, I would recommend this as well. Or if you just want something really unique, because this is very, very unique. This is Head Over Heels. At number 9, we have Bliss. This one is inspired by Perfumes de Marly Meloria. This is black currant, red berries, cassis, rose, lily of the valley, ylang ylang, musk, and vanilla. I truly get a burst of that red fruitiness in here, those red berries and that black currant. And I smell that first. I'm like, ooh, it's very like juicy. Like it smells like a burgundy color of fruit juice. Not a super red, not like a strawberry red. And then it also doesn't smell like you're getting into plum. It's like if you smell a color, I'm smelling this sort of like burgundy, deep magenta. Yes, I do smell color. I know I'm not the only one. I've talked to people, but I smell color. So I get that out of it. And then I do get that rose that comes in that I was afraid was going to kind of turn me, where I didn't like this as much. And I can love some rose fragrances. Some of my favorite fragrances have rose, but some of my fragrances that I struggle with a little bit, it's because of the type of rose or like what the rose does to the fragrance. And I thought it was going to start to turn it where I didn't really love it, but it's just right for me. Also where it's not a like love, but I like it a lot. And I think it's that musk and the vanilla that come in and kind of like save the day, because I think if it just stopped there, I don't get a ton of the ylang ylang in here. It's more of like this juicy notes at the beginning and then with like some rose. And then musk and vanilla. The ylang ylang I don't get much. So I think the musk and vanilla help cut into that rose, make it where it's a pretty good, strong like for me. That is Bliss. All right, now we're at number 8, and I think we're getting into the pretty strong likes here. This is Simply Gorgeous. This is inspired by Chanel Beige. I had actually never heard of Chanel Beige. I don't know if I was just under a rock. This is quite simple. Like it says, Simply Gorgeous is the name for this. And it being called Beige by Chanel, it does make sense. So all this is frangipani, hawthorn, honey, and freesia. This will not be everyone's cup of tea, but because I've gotten surprisingly in like the last year more into kind of clean soapy fragrances, whereas I did not like those really before a year ago, I really enjoy this. It is like those artisanal soaps that you would get like in a health store, or just like in a handmade crafty sort of like market, and you open up the parchment paper and you get the soap out. This would be the color beige, is what the soap would look like. And the honey is very subtle. It's not like this really sweet honey. It's not like a dripping thick honey, not an animalic honey either. it's just like a little hint of it, of the soapiness. And the freesia and the frangipani in this are also extremely subtle. I just want you to imagine that you open up that soap and you take a whiff, and the soapiness is what you smell the most, and there's just like a hint of those other scents going on. The hint of the floral, hint of the honey. The hawthorn has like a honey-like scent to it, that plant as well, or the flower. So you have to want to smell soapy and just very clean and slightly vintage. Don't mistake vintage with smelling old, because young, like 20-year-old beautiful women wore fragrances back in the day that didn't make them smell old, but it's just back in that time what scents smell like. It reminds me of that. It's probably not for everyone. Don't know if it's the safest blind buy, but if you do know what I'm talking about when I'm describing this and you do like those kind of scents, I think you'll really, really like Simply Gorgeous. All right, number 7 is Ruby Valley. This is another original blend. So this is bergamot, lemon, orange, blackcurrant, rose, Cirella, which is plum, basically, pineapple, lily of the valley, jasmine, vanilla, musk, and amber. This is another one that is almost clean smelling to me as well. Even though you have all those fruits there, this doesn't smell like a fruit punch. It doesn't smell like a fruity drink or anything like that. It smells kind of like a clean, musky fragrance with hints of all those fruits in it. So it's not ultra sweet. It's a little bit fresh. I think this would be a perfect, like really, really hot day. If too sweet, too fruity kind of makes you sick when it's really hot and you just want something more kind of clean with hints of fruits, I think you'd really like this. It's kind of a strange one, but it's a little bit addictive for me. Kind of a freshy, kind of musky, kind of clean, hints of fruit is what I get from Ruby Valley. All right, number 6 is Caramel Blossom. This is another original blend. You're gonna see a lot of original blends in the top. I think he's really good at his original blends. This is apple, red currant, pear, jasmine, orange blossom, peach, amber, caramel, and musk. Now, this one is interesting because when I first sprayed it and smelled it, and even every time after, I swear that I smell like honeysuckle or something just really fresh floral that takes me back to my childhood. And I did grow up with a honeysuckle bush on the side of my house. And maybe it's also sort of similar to Spanish broom. We have one of those in our house right now in the backyard. There's something about it that reminds me of those, but that's not listed in here. I don't know if it's just like the orange blossom mixed with the apple and the pear that's giving me that. But this is just a really pretty, springy, bright floral. And I think the florals stand out more than the fruits, but I think the fruits kind of help just kind of lift these flowers a little bit to where it's not just like floral in your face, like not a heady floral. It's just kind of like brightens it. I think it's really beautiful, really fresh. It does remind me slightly even of some like sunflower scents that I've smelled before. Not actual sunflowers, but one by Floral Street. There's been Bath & Body Works ones that kind of smell similar to this. So I like this one. I like some of the other ones better that are coming up. But this is another really good original blend. That is Caramel Blossom. Coming at number 5 is Beautiful Bella Embrace. And actually, it's almost unfair to put this at 5 because I love, 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 love this fragrance. But the reason why I am putting it at 5 is because I'm not as excited about it because it isn't inspired by fragrance that I have other dupes for, but he added notes to it. So this is Xerjoff's Dama Bianca, but with additional notes. So let me read you all the notes and I'll tell you which ones he added. The notes are Sicilian Mandarin, kumquat, lime, Tahitian vanilla, white bergamot, Italian iris, hibiscus, violet, lilac, Egyptian pear, lily of the valley, white rum, vanilla, malt, amberette, white musk, sandalwood, isoe, super. Now, the notes that he added were the Sicilian mandarin, vanilla, white bergamot, hibiscus, white rum, and isoe, super. And like I said, I do have several. I think I have 2 other Dama Bianca dupes. So there is more to this one. That white rum is so subtle, but I think it adds something so neat to this. And that isoe super just kind of really makes this like kind of rich and cozy and sort of ambery too. I really, really like this a lot. It is one of my favorites out of the bunch. Had I never smelled actual dupes of Dama Bianca, and this was like my first time, I'd be like, oh, amazing. But it's just not super new to my nose. So I'm like, I like his improvements. And I really do. I think I prefer his improvements over just the original notes. So I think he did a really good job doing that. I like that he does that and kind of makes it his own. So that is Beautiful Bella Embrace. Okay, coming in at number 4, this is Delicious Dreams. This is stunning, you guys. This is really, really beautiful. This is inspired by Fève Delicieux by Guerlain. This is lavender mint, bergamot, sour cherry, jasmine freesia, tonka bean, vanilla, cocoa pod, caramel praline, benzoin, milk, sandalwood, leather, and cedar. This is sexy. This is sexy. It's blended beautifully. I've never smelled the original. I believe that is discontinued. I may be wrong, but I think that it is. This is the other one that I think would smell really good on a man as well. This one and the Kilian Rolling Love dupe, Head Over Heels. I think Delicious Dreams would smell great on a man, but definitely unisex. Or maybe even feminine, but like would just smell good on a man. I don't know. I think anytime you have some leather going on in there, some cedar, that can just smell lovely on a man. But the cocoa pod in here really stands out to me. And I love it because it's this very dry sort of cocoa. It's not a overly gourmand chocolatey. It's just dry. You have that cedar, that leather, the vanilla, benzoin. It is, you guys, this is a gorgeous like colder weather fragrance, but it's also not very heavy. It manages to be pretty light as well. So I think you could wear this kind of winter going into spring. I think it's stunning. I think if I was if I was like fall time right now and really craving fragrances like this, this would be, I would just want to drown myself in it. But because I'm kind of like, looking forward to like fruity florals and fresh and citrusy, light, airy right now, I love it. But I'm like, I can't wait till I want to wear fragrances like this again. Really, really beautiful, beautifully blended. That is Delicious Dreams. All right, you guys, now I'm at number 3. And honestly, I could switch these around. I love these 3 so much. This is Ethereal Bloom, one of his originals. It smells so good. This is Bergamot, Peach, Jasmine, Orris, Muguet, Amber, Raspberry, Musk, Vanilla, and Tonka Bean. Oh my goodness. This one is just so fruity and fun. And like you really get that peach and that raspberry play so nice together. Sometimes I just smell raspberry or I just smell peach, but I truly smell both of these in here. The Orris this time in this is so smooth and suede-like. It really is. I mean, it doesn't smell just like actual like suede as a note. It just makes the fragrance really silky, I think. And then I've noticed that when he has his musk and vanilla and amber in a fragrance, I really, really like it, especially when it's in the base. So this one actually has musk, vanilla, tonka bean, amber's in the mid. But oh my gosh, it's just perfect. That tonka bean gives it ever so slight powderiness, but not baby powder. It's just more, this is light, smooth, fruity, silky. I think it's excellent. I could put this as number 1 too. So good. And that is Ethereal Bloom. All right, this next one is another Guerlain inspired by. His is called Call Me By Your Name. Is inspired by Gourmand Coquin by Guerlain. And this is chocolate, pink pepper, vanilla, amber, jasmine, benzoin, brown sugar, and musk. Oh my goodness. This is another one that if it were right now, if it was September and I was just like itching to wear fragrances like this, wow. This is a gorgeous, gorgeous gourmand fragrance. It has elements that I really love together, or notes that I love together, like vanilla and benzoin and the amber and pepper, pink pepper. But the way the chocolate is done in this, also the brown sugar, it makes it just the right balance of something kind of, there's like this dryness with this and this warmth mixed with like this cocooning sort of vanilla. That pink pepper is like not too much, just enough to give it like a little bit of like something sexy. You guys, this is so good. This is so good. I love it. I know this one is discontinued by Guerlain, and it was pretty highly rated as well. I think people like really try to get their hands on the original. So if you've ever smelled it and you're like, oh, it's gone. This is, I mean, I've never smelled the original, but this is excellent. It smells so good. This is Call Me By Your Name. All right, my number one that I put is Valencia Grove. And again, I probably could have changed out the top three. I kind of went back and forth between Ethereal Bloom and this one for number one, but this is red currant, pineapple lemon, jasmine rose, strawberry, lily of the valley, gourmet woody notes. Not sure what gourmet woody notes means. Maybe he wants to keep it really to himself in private, but you guys, I feel like once it is really warm outside and once this is on my skin, I think in the sun, this is even gonna take this to a different level. I literally picture a fresh fruit drink from like Starbucks, those like fresh fruit drinks sitting in a cold cup where like the condensation's coming down, it has the ice in it, and it's so refreshing, and it tastes even better and feels better going down when you're in the hot sun. I feel like this is going to be the same on the skin. The fruits are so bright in here, and it's not overly sweet. It's kind of like fresh and light, but it is just blended so beautifully. And then, like I said, I don't know what those gourmet woody notes are, but whatever they are, it's not too gourmet, whatever that would be. And it's not too woody where it makes it too dense or too masculine. It is just right, you guys. I think it's so, so pretty. There is that strawberry that kind of comes out too, that's very natural. Again, not a very sweet strawberry, not a synthetic strawberry. It just kind of like pops in a few minutes later. I think it's so good. That's why I got my number one spot. That is Valencia Grove. But that is it, you guys. That is my ranking of my 14 Julianna'S, new Julianna'S perfume fragrances, plus those two samples. I highly recommend that you guys go order. I will give you heads up. I think he is a very like one-man team with maybe like one or two people that help him now and then. He's doing it himself. So if it takes a little while to get to you, please be patient. The last time I did my video for the Black Friday sale, I actually did go purchase myself, and I got one of them really, really quickly. I had to wait maybe 3 weeks or so for the other two. It's fine. I got them. I love them. It was a great price. Just be patient. Just know that ahead of time, and I think you'll be really, really happy. I thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, have fun shopping, budget shopping, and smelling fabulous. Bye.